The Bretonnians are on the march. Hearing of the coronation of Emperor Karl Franz, Duke Leopold of Montfort leads his army of raised levies and knights to the empire. Karl has heard of this invasion and knows where to strike. The Bretonnians plan to travel through Axbite Pass in the Grey Mountains. When they are out of the pass, Karl will have his men positioned in the fields of Norduin, ready to cut off their advance. Hey everybody, it's Overkill here with another episode in the Warhammer Historic Battles series. So today we're continuing the story of Karl Franz with the Battle of Norduin. Now, this was still early on in Karl's reign. Of course, he had conquered many, well, not many lands, I guess, but he has had many decisive battles before this one. But this is one of the first major ones that is mentioned in between, or after his fights against the Marauders. So this is a fight against Bretonnia. Now, Bretonnia isn't a faction in Rage of the Dark Gods, so what I had to do was I just used the county of Wissenland. I gave them some free company archers, some heretic spearmen, just because Bretonnia uses cheap spears and bows, so that's representing that. But Call of Warhammer does have Bretonnian knights, so that's the only important part here. So you can see that the majority of their army is Bretonnian knights, being knights errant and knights of the realm. There you go. And their general is in one of these units. There he is. There is no record of who this general actually is. Of course, it isn't their king, Lewin, or that would have been a huge mess up to the lore, pretty much. But it must just be some general. So what we can assume from this is the Bretonnians maybe thought that the empire was weak due to Karl becoming emperor. But you can see now the artillery is opening up. So let's look at the army while this is going on. I have 4 units of handgunners, of course. 6 units of halberdiers, 3 units of greatswords, 2 units of great cannons, 4 units of Reichsguard knights, and then a unit of inner circle knights for Karl Franz. I just wanted to have this unit different from the rest of the knights. Of course, Karl always used his Reichsguard if he wasn't on Deathclaw or in greatswords, basically on foot. But I just wanted to make it different. But yeah, so the battle's opening up quite nicely here. You can see my handgunners and great cannons are going to work pretty well on these guys. A stray cannonball just took out a bunch of knights errant. But basically we're just working on killing their infantry first of all. You can see the handgunner fire is just ripping through these guys. But oh, look at that! There's a random chaos warrior here. Whoops. I guess it was kind of a poor choice to make heretic spearmen. I didn't notice that. We'll just pretend that they're Bretonnian knights. Oh God, on foot. So you can see that the Bretonnians are paying dearly for advancing, basically. Losing 17%, 18% of their men, but you'll see as the battle progresses that those casualties do not matter much, as these knights are very powerful, as they should be. Bretonnia is renowned for their powerful knights. So, and just look how beautiful these are. Like, you would assume that maybe they just be reskins, or they'd just be like port overs from Medieval 2, but no, these are completely new units that look exactly like the models, and they look awesome. But you can see now that some of the knights have actually pushed around my right flank, so I charge in a unit of Reichsguard, and here we go, knight on knight action. But we got the downhill charge. No matter how good that was, we're still going to have a little bit of an edge. So the knights are now starting to charge into my halberds. There they go. Of course, they're going to be taking some casualties. Like always, my handgunners didn't really get away that well, so most of them are going to die, which is kind of sad, but oh well. But you can see now that because of our downhill charge, the ensuing melee battle is very much in our favor. We've killed a lot of them. But you can see that it's not the same story on every flank. Even my halberds are even having trouble against these heavily armored knights. You can see now that they're starting to die very quickly, but definitely not as quickly as cavalry usually do against halberds. So you can see we actually made these knights errant back up a little bit because we also charged in our greatswords to help out. Our cannons are still blasting away. I actually switched to grape shot, and it actually shot the back of my own men, which is a bit of a mistake, but it actually broke these heretic spearmen. Okay, we won't call them heretics. It broke these spearmen. There we go. For lore friendliness, we'll call them just spearmen. I wish there was a Bretonnian faction in this. I can't wait for Total War Warhammer to be able to do stuff like this with the actual factions, because you know Bretonnia is going to be added in as DLC. There's no doubt. I'm excited to be able to recreate these battles, and maybe even continue this series with that game. But yeah, you can just see like the grind. These knights are just absolutely destroying my guys. Even halberds are having trouble against these knights because they're so powerful. But again, that's how it should be. This is Warhammer, not real life. Knights in Warhammer can probably just like break off halberds by running into them. So who knows? But you can see now I'm starting to get I'm starting to flank around with my Reiksguard and my Inner Circle Knights. This unit is actually engaging to hit this flank. You can see they get a nice charge in, actually taking down a few of the knights. But they do get countercharged by these guys, these Knights Errant, and these guys actually start running away a little bit. But I still have 3 units of cavalry, and they're lining up for some nice charges, as you can see. So here they go. I was going to send this unit to go after the archers, but I decided to charge into this unit, and these guys would charge here. And now we start moving Karl and his unit eventually. You can see this is where I actually lost one of my cannon units. Some of the knights pushed through my line and went right to the cannons. I noticed this, and I was like, uh-oh. Run away. Run away, crew. Or maybe I haven't noticed yet. But, you know, they run eventually. They don't die. But sadly, this unit did perish completely. But yeah, you can see it's starting to look up in the center. Our halberds got very messed up, but of course they are pushing. And this is where the Bretonnian general is slain by my Reiksguard, which is excellent. But again, it doesn't affect the morale of the knights that much. In fact, it probably just makes them fight harder, trying to restore honor to their fallen lord. Who knows? The honor of the Bretonnians is a strange thing. Of course, it does affect their spearmen and their archers as they start breaking. Not the archer. Well, the archers are, of course, shaken because of him dying, but I'm not really fighting them, so of course they're not going to break. But you can see this is where I start moving Karl, because I know this is where I noticed that these knights were up here. So I get him moving to go fight them because they charge into my handgunners, which I allow, basically, just so that they stand still. And I sweep my Inner Circle Knights around and charge them in the back, and that pretty much gets rid of them. But you can see my infantry line has, well, for the most part, my infantry line over here is doing quite well. These guys are still getting pretty bogged down by all the knights. But you can see now they're weakened. They're actually taking more damage now. They're not getting good charges. They're in prolonged melee against halberds. They're going to start dying and taking a lot of damage. But yeah, you can see now the Inner Circle Knights are about to make their charge. They're getting around them. Once they get up to about here, I charge them in. But you can see down here, the cavalry fight is actually going in my favor. Most of the Bretonnian Knights are dead, which is excellent. So here's the charge. Those Inner Circle Knights just devastating those Knights Errant. There we go. But you can see now that like I said, I'm actually winning the fight down here, which is good. They are doing cycle charges, though, of course, so these guys are going to get a nice charge into the rear of my Reiksguard. Yep. Didn't do much damage as it could have, but eh. So my halberds have actually pushed down the hill now at this point to chase the knights as they run away, which is quite interesting. But now I actually have the chance to go after their archers, so they just start breaking instantly as soon as I hit them. They were shaken before and wavering and stuff. Then I get another charge in here. I don't know quite why I charged in from this side. I must have thought that the enemy were on this side and my men were here, but that doesn't really matter. Well, what does matter, I did give them a rear charge, but that's fine. But yeah, you can see the archers are pretty much freaking out. My guys are being chased by these random Bretonnian knights, which isn't fun, but oh well. And yeah, you can see now up here the knights have been destroyed. This is actually it's the same unit. There's this one guy from that unit that's still there. Oh, there's another unit. Okay, well, there's some random knights spread out everywhere pretty much. But yeah, you can see that the middle fight has been pretty much destroyed. The middle part of the Bretonnian army has been destroyed. The only thing that's really left are these 38. Oh, there's 2 units there? Or no, they just dropped that fast. All right. All you can see is these guys that are left. Now, there isn't much information on this battle, how it was fought, who died, how many died. All we know is in the description for the battle is that Karl Franz personally led the Reichsguard to break the knights, and I think that kind of stands true. I didn't really charge him in because, well, Bretonnian knights would have killed him probably. Just in game mechanics. I did try this battle before, and Karl Franz did die, so I wasn't about to upload that because, of course, he didn't die at this battle. He lived on for many more years after this. But yeah. So hopefully that was reflected nicely here. Oh no, the 5 Knights of the Realm coming in. They're actually probably gonna kill these guys that they hit. Yeah, they did. Look at that. They actually killed a lot more guys. But it's all over for them basically. Here's the Inner Circle Knights. I don't even know if I noticed these guys here, really. Probably not. So you can see that we've lost almost 70% of our men. Alas, that is the story of Warhammer, basically losing almost as many men as your opponent and still getting a clear victory. But you can see now that as soon as these knights die, that is actually the end of the battle. All these other units are routing and broken. These guys have won, and yeah, there you go. So that was a clear victory, and that was the Battle of Norduin against the Bretonnians. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like and a comment down below if you enjoyed, and make sure to smash that like goal that I set so that we can get another episode out. But anyway, guys, this has been Overkill as always, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.